I think you can argue there would not be a Bonnaroo without the Grateful Dead.
This entire scene that is the Grateful Dead scene that just migrated to a Bonnaroo field in Manchester, Tennessee. This is what I want now.
He was born Robert Hall Parber and then was put up for adoption and was adopted, and we know him as Bobby Weir, or Bobby to Grateful Dead fans. He died yesterday. We are going to spend a little bit of time here on the What Podcast. I'm Barry, that's Bryan, that's Russ. We're going to spend a few minutes talking about the impact that Bobby had on the music universe and the festival universe and Bonnaroo in general, and then we're going to play some more contest entries.
Sad day in the music world, but a legacy that can't be denied or debated, and a fulfilled life from Bob Weir. So yeah, a bummer, but a celebration in my mind to a certain degree.
Well, let's do this. I have a couple of stories. Russ and I talked, and I think we did a little bit with you. Bryan, you are by far the bigger Dead fan than either of us, but I do have a couple of interactions, a couple of stories, and I want to go through those, and I want to talk about the importance of the Grateful Dead to our world, and then I'm going to let you sort of share whatever you have. There are lots of ways to enjoy Bonnaroo. There are lots of reasons to enjoy Bonnaroo. We've always talked about it's a great place to discover new acts. It's a great place for us as, journalists, which is essentially what we've been, or at least pretend to be.
Yeah, at least where we came from and wannabe land, but yes, of course.
Absolutely. So it's a great place for us to discover, find somebody new, kind of watch their career grow. But it's also an unbelievable opportunity to see people like Bob Weir, the legacies, the U2s, the Paul McCartneys. Where else are you going to be that close to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Who was there for
sitting right next to Stephen Stills, right?
Stephen Stills and Daniel Lanois, and on and on and on.
Childish Gambino in the next room.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Triumph, the insult comic.
That was a fun year.
That was an amazing year.
2010, I believe. Anyway, go ahead, Barry.
But we owe a tremendous amount to the Bob Weirs of this world. There would not be I think you can argue there would not be a Bonnaroo without the Grateful Dead. And like I said, I'm not that big a fan. I like their music. Okay. I think Wake of the Flood is a great album that I can listen to over and over and over. They didn't do much for me, but I've always been very much aware of them. But their ethos and their mindset and their fandom and what they created has a lot to do with Bonnaroo. And what Bonnaroo has become. I mean, I think you both would agree. It's hard to imagine a Bonnaroo without the Grateful Dead universe. Fish came out of that, the jam band thing. So
yeah.
It's a huge loss. And the more we lose people like this, the Tom Pettys. That's the other thing I was thinking about is I didn't get to see Tom Petty because I made a bad decision. I never got to see David Bowie because I was too lazy to, make a trip and go see him out of town.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Rolling Stones,
Yeah, you'll see them next time until there's not a next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when we lose these people, and I know there's a lot of young people that listen to this show, and it's, it's the, hey, get off my lawn, I'm the old guy. But you don't get these opportunities once they're gone. So take advantage, I guess, is part of the message, to see these people. And to be able to say you saw them in person live and be in the room means a lot to me. And so it's a big loss. It's a big deal. he was still making music, again, I'll let you, Brian, talk about that because you've seen, your T-shirt speaks to it.
For my Sphere show a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out. Go ahead, Russ.
I was just gonna say there's a Volkswagen connection there too. I mean, the Grateful Dead kind of embodied, the original Volkswagen microbus was kind of a big part of that movement.
Became
hippie
synonymous with
movement
the whole
and
scene.
jam band.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just remembered in 1995, I think, is when Jerry Garcia died.
August
Volkswagen put
95.
out an ad that you've probably seen of just a split window bus with a little tear coming out
Yep.
of its, yeah, and it just said Jerry Garcia, and that was it. That was, I thought that was a pretty awesome tribute. That's a pretty well remembered thing, and it just goes to show how these things are linked. So even
Absolutely.
non-musically, there's a huge impact on culture and what we do.
Well, that's my point about the Bonnaroo sort of ethos. I mean, you can't. I don't know how you can separate the Grateful Dead and that whole universe with the Bonnaroo universe that we think of. Maybe people who are new to Bonnaroo don't quite get it because you weren't, into the Grateful Dead or around. But I just don't know how you can separate it. You don't have one without the other.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the adage comes from, or if it even is one. But a local guy that we're all friends with, Jeff Stiles here in town, would always say, and I don't know if he made it up or if it comes from every corner of every zeitgeist of all dead fandom. But until you see a hockey game live, a NASCAR race live, or a Grateful Dead concert live, you'll never understand what those three things are. You can see it on TV. You can see a picture of hockey and NASCAR and a Dead show and be like, boy, that looks like something a little different. But until you step foot in the arena or in the venue to see those three things, you'll never get it. And it's so true because it's just such a different thing than anything else you've ever seen. Even like Fish rivals it because of their popularity. Widespread Panic, sort of, but there's really not anybody else. Maybe Pink Floyd once upon a time, 35, 40 years ago. Allman Brothers had a run for a minute, but nobody with the 60-year staying power, with the marketing machine. I mean, because their business dealings were so poor as young people in a band, they didn't become rich until they were like approaching elderly. And then they became off the charts, a money printing machine of the entire marketing machine that is the Grateful Dead. And it's the hottest brand up until just a couple years ago when the Sphere hit as the new hottest thing. And maybe it still is today, and it will have a jump and a boom right now. It is the most marketable, sellable rock and roll product out there.
I didn't think about this, and I'm gonna let you cook.
Yeah, sure. I'm just bouncing around.
As our guys say here in a little bit.
I'm
But
just bouncing.
think about that too. They did that before any social media. I mean, they were doing this. They were selling merch. They were giving away stuff. They were giving away bootleg tapes.
Let everybody
They were
tape their shows.
Let everybody tape their shows before the internet. I mean, for you guys are in your 40s. I'm in my 60s. It's hard to fathom a universe before the internet and your cell phone. Imagine being a Deadhead fan before all of that. And they made it work.
And they just sent these tapes in the mail. That's how they traded them outside of at live shows. And then they would put them in the mail and send them to each other based on a lot of that was early AOL internet days when that really started to take off in that way. But yeah, trading tapes in the lots, that was a pastime along with whatever drugs you were doing. Like so.
Yeah. Anyway, I know, Brian, you made some notes, but I just wanted to say how important I realize the Grateful Dead and Bob Weir are to this festival that I love so much. Like I said, I know the music. I know it a little bit. I like it well enough. But my memory growing up was that, the old joke was, what did the Deadhead say when he wasn't tripping and he listened to their music? It was like, yeah, they do suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I wrote down, Barry, was I wanted to know, we've never talked about this on the show. what your relationship with the music was, let's say in the 70s and 80s as you're growing up listening to different music, certainly as we know, because I know where your leanings were as a young person, but what were your thoughts when you were in your 20s,
Yeah.
and listening to Devo or whatever, and
Right.
the Dead Machine was going right along. It was just under a radar of just a ethos that you didn't see on the internet because there wasn't one. What were your thoughts? This is annoying. I don't understand this, or screw these hippies, or what was it? What was it like
Yes.
then? Okay,
Pretty much that.
Yes, to
Pretty
all.
much that. Yeah. I mean, they weren't on the radio. They weren't on the radio until trucking. I knew them because of my brothers who are to this day old hippies. So I mean, I was aware of them. I just never into the music at all.
Yeah.
I think probably the first real, honestly, first time I gave them a listen, my sister-in-law was dating a guy, and he was a big Dead fan, and she wanted to get Wake of the Flood for him, and ended up buying it at a local record store for about $70, which sounded outrageous.
It is outrageous.
Yeah.
Sounds outrageous today.
Correct. But I ended up getting it for a lot cheaper and then listening to it over and over and over, and I really like it. So I've become a fan. I like it well enough. I don't, the bootlegs and all that.
Those tapes were terrible recordings too. All those tapers that made all those recordings and that primitive technology, they were not very good recordings. The interesting thing with their whole marketing and look is that if you didn't know better, you would think this was at least back in the Tipper Gore days of trying to regulate people's music from my youth. You would look at it and think this is like some devil music or something like this. There's all these skeletons and there's all the dead, the Grateful Dead, and if you don't, you're hearing that there's a lot of potential drug use, which is mostly marijuana, but it's more than that. But it wasn't like this absolute drug tank every minute of their existence. But that's what people thought, and you can think of that. This has got to be some really dangerous music. This is gonna rot young people's minds. This is some of the most uplifting stuff you've ever listened to.
Yeah.
And it's really easy listening for the most part. It's barely rock and roll half the time from what we consider like Rolling Stones, as you mentioned.
It's bluegrass. Yeah, I mean, Jerry was a big bluegrass guy.
Jerry was the well, and I'm glad you brought that up right there. I'll just kind of shift. So yes, so they're not that, as we all know now. Everybody's aware of that now. But yeah, Jerry was the bluegrass guy, and Bob Weir was the rock and roll guy. Bob Weir was 17 when this band started. Phil Lesh just died 2 years ago now, I guess it was, a year and a half, whatever it was. He was pushing 85. I think he was 84. Jerry would have been in his pushing to mid-80s by now. And Bob was learning to play guitar, and I don't know if he just had a cool factor to him or something. And Jerry took him in and helped him learn to play guitar better. Next thing you know, the young kid, the rock and roller, the really good-looking dude with the long hair, the typical rock and roll white guy. And next thing you know, he's just as part of the band as ever. They had so many tentacles to that band. I mean, it's a dozen members officially, totally, overall, maybe a little bit more. But Bob was young, and he was 78, and I was always into Bob the most. It took me a while to get into the Dead because he was the rocker. He was the cool guy. Jerry was kind of like the old lovable teddy bear that just, played a guitar well. But some of those, I mean, on a good day, a Dead show 30 years ago wasn't very good. I mean, a lot of the time.
No, I was reading, just jump in real quick. Reading, obviously, this morning, one of the things it said was that the fans used to cheer every time Bob Weir would forget lyrics. That was part of the show.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the lyrics were meaning, like I said, in my mind, they were silly, trippy, whatever.
Yeah.
Read into them whatever you want kind of thing.
Well, their music is very independently digestible, right? And one song can mean something completely different than to others. That's true with any longevity of a band. But generally speaking, their music was pretty chill. It was just kind of, sunshine and daydreaming. And
You said something a minute ago. They weren't, and I've never made this distinction, but they weren't an alcohol based type of trip. It was always drugs to me, marijuana, mushrooms, the psychedelics.
Yeah, I don't mean to miscategorize and say that there wasn't a lot of that going on, if that's what it sounded like, because there certainly was.
No. I just think there is a difference between a beer drinking crowd and a mushroom or a marijuana crowd.
Yeah, there's more of the Allman Brothers fandom that's a little bit more the drinking crowd that will certainly Skinner. I know. Well, I don't like Skinner these days. Different story. But yeah, the beer drinker that. Yeah, I'll try some of that. What do you got over there? Put some in my hand. I'll give it a try. Or the Dead fan who's put that in my hand, whatever it is. Now, where's the beer?
Yeah. Look what I found on the ground.
Yeah, look at this. Anybody got a drink?
Or I've got my morning buzz and then my afternoon and then hits just right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're pros.
It's just, there's an Amazon doc on them, 4 to 6 hours long. That's 5 or 6 years old. That is just every minute of it is fabulous. It's just so well done.
Yeah.
You'll learn as much in those kinds of things as you'll ever thought you wanted to, and then you'll forget half of it because it's so long. There's just so much there, and they just never stopped. All they did was just play shows year round for 30 years until Jerry's health deteriorated. He had a bad drug problem. It was, heroin at the end, and that was less about the scene and more about his just demons and bad life decisions. And there's no real evidence that Bob ever had a big drug problem or even a drug problem at all, which sometimes it's hard to imagine you could be in that so immersed and not have an issue.
Well,
with that.
yeah, it's hard to live as long as he did unless, you don't have issues like that, unless you're Keith Richards.
Well, yeah. In his older age, Bob became big into yoga, and he was the ultimate old man, light some incense, wear some Birkenstocks hippie. Just hippie dippy dude, and that's another reason why he was so endearing to me, is he aged so well. In the 90s, I was just so entrenched in grunge and loud, noisy feedback. 90s alt rock that the Dead still didn't do anything for me, though a lot of my friends are starting to go that way. But all the lifestyle that came with it, I was totally into.
Well, that's where I wanted to go, and I alluded earlier that you can't have Bonnaroo without the Dead, but let's be specific. It is the lifestyle, and it's not just the drugs. That's the image that everybody thinks of, but it's the acceptance, right? It's the fact, the community, the huge sense of community and acceptance. Everybody's welcome. Everybody takes care of everybody, right?
Come as you are, exactly.
Come as you are. The whole Shakedown Street, that's a Dead thing, right?
God, I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't even think about that for some reason. There's a Shakedown Street at every single festival in the world, almost. Maybe some of the EDM types have not quite done it this way, but yeah, Shakedown Street, the name of one of their songs. If you're on at a lot anywhere in the world and you're buying beads and having a beer and picking up a kombucha, you're on Shakedown Street.
Yeah, a grilled cheese sandwich, right? Isn't that again? I'm projecting a little bit, but isn't that how some people paid their way?
Oh, yeah.
They would go follow the band around. They'd sell grilled cheese sandwiches, make a few bucks.
Absolutely. Those lives still go on today, and I've known people. I was tempted to say, well, is there an extra seat in the car? I'll go ride around and make grilled cheese sandwiches too, even though I didn't quite get the music until I discovered Widespread Panic the year before the first Bonnaroo. And at that point, my whole music listening and digesting of it totally shifted. I'd gotten out of the 90s and start hearing this Panic band, And I'm like, this is pretty wild. And this is a lot like what the Grateful Dead were doing, except at that time, it's way better. And then I started to go backward. I knew 2 or 3, 4 songs or whatever, and was very familiar with the situation with Jerry in the mid 90s. But it was Bonnaroo 2002. First year, that I was like, this is for me, right? This entire scene that is the Grateful Dead scene that just migrated to a Bonnaroo field in Manchester, Tennessee. This is what I want now. And for 10 years, that's all I did was jam band community things. And I saw the Grateful Dead variations, not the Grateful Dead, but Dead variations starting in 2003. No, 2. No, I'm sorry, 3 at Bonnaroo. And I've been what you would consider a deadhead since. At the time, I was embarrassed. Into my 20s, and just now, like, I might have even lied. Like, oh, yeah, I listened to Dead all the time back in the 90s. No, I didn't. I didn't at all. And in 2002, that all changed. And for 24 years now, they're nowhere near my favorite band. I'm not going to pretend to do that, say that. That would be disingenuous. But a band I love and will listen to anytime. Hey, you want to listen to some Dead? Sure. I'm never going to say no to that. So they definitely rank up there pretty high.
Just to prove that I listened to your podcast, wasn't it a Dead T-shirt that you were wearing when the guy asked you what your favorite song was, and you were embarrassed because you didn't have an answer?
Oh my God! Thank you, thank you for bringing that up, Barry.
You made his day.
Let me tell that real quick.
Cook.
Anybody in my Taco and I's era, there was always the name 3 songs. You want maybe this goes back to generations. I don't know, Barry. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But if you want to call somebody out, if you want to expose a poser, if you want to be an asshole, go up to somebody who's wearing a band shirt and say, name 3 songs. Yeah. And when they can't, you just hammer them. I mean, we're going to make fun of this guy for maybe the rest of the semester. And I had a shirt very similar to this one. It's the classic Steal Your Face. It would be back in the 90s and 2000s. If you said, I want the Steely shirt, this was the classic Steal Your Face shirt. More tie-dye than this, a better looking shirt than this one, actually. And I wanted the tie-dye because I was going through a little hippie phase in the 90s. And the best one you could find was that one. So my mom got me that one. I wore it under my Baja, which I know occasionally you still wear, Taco.
I do. I still have it.
And yeah, some guy came up to me and pulled my shirt out, my Baja. Look, he's like, "Is that a Steely?" He's like, "Name 3 songs." I was like, "Oh God." I probably knew 1 or 2. But I blanked. For the rest of the semester, I was mortified. Yeah. This guy raked me over the coals. I went to Camelot Music we had in our mall here. You guys will remember.
I remember Camelot.
And I would go study Grateful Dead CDs and write down all the song titles. So if this guy ever did this to me again, I'd be like,
you had your jerk store moment.
Jerk store. Yeah. Seinfeld reference for those that don't get it. The unindoctrinated. It was the most embarrassing thing of that era of my life, and I swore I never wore that Grateful Dead shirt again. Never put it back on.
So I went through Wikipedia real quick, all the different spin-off bands, the other ones, the Dead, Further, Dead and Company, New Riders of the Purple Sage, Old and in the Way. I don't know of too many bands that have had this many. I mean, spinoffs. There's a lot of bands. The Beatles obviously have tons and tons of tributes, but
Phil and Friends. I don't know if you mentioned that one. Mickey Hart and Planet Drum. I mean,
Donna Jean. How do you say her last name?
Godchow
band. Yeah, Donna Jean. She just recently passed too, didn't she?
Just a few 6 months ago or so, maybe.
Yeah, I remember reading her obituary. She was notable because when she was on, she was great. And when she was not, she couldn't carry a tune.
That's the whole damn band back then. That's why they got.
Exactly. That's what I remember.
That's why they got together well on that. And as we're marching towards a half hour here, I don't want to go too much as we got a bunch of submissions we want to get to, but I do want to just run through. I did make some notes to remember to myself last night of how many times Bob Weir played at Bonnaroo. And I'm sure there's a sit-in on one of these years I'm missing that he wasn't scheduled, and I just can't use memory and the internet enough to figure that out. But in 2002, Phil and Friends had Bob, and they played a Tennessee Jed on a beautiful Sunday afternoon after Panic did 2 nights, and it was like the perfect kind of close to the perfect inaugural event of Bonnaroo. Then the Dead. So this would be just the Dead with Warren Haynes basically taking over the Jerry Garcia role in 2003 and 2004. In 2005 and 2007, Rat Dog, which was Bob's specific Grateful Dead spinoff. That was Bob's band. They played in 2005 and 2007, and then in 2016, so a big jump, almost 10 years at that point, Dead and Company in the 2016 year where they closed out on Sunday. And I first was media credentialed in 2004, but I had no idea what I was doing, didn't know where anything was. And then that big storm came in and wiped us all out. And they canceled almost anything going on in the media area on Saturday. On the next year in 2005 was the first time I had access to everything and I understood where I was. And that's when I first was around Bob and here with him and Dave Schools from Widespread Panic. That might as well have been 50 years ago. He looks like a young man in that picture. And then in 2016, my now girlfriend and lovely favorite person in the world, Elizabeth Thorpe, shot for one of her first years shooting at Bonnaroo officially. Was Dead and Company, and got a few good shots of Bob that year too. So, yeah, a really important person in rock and roll's life for sure, but certainly mine. But never had the poster. Never.
Yeah.
Never. It's not on an Eddie Vedder, Noel Gallagher, Dave Lowry from Cracker kind of thing for me. It's not an idol. These aren't idols of mine, but it really was the Bonnaroo ethos that really sucked me in, and I was like,
there it is.
This is what I want forever. Like, this is absolutely it. And Bonnaroo has still, after all these years, been able to maintain that specialness, even though they've been so far removed from anything jam band for going on 20 years now. Almost 20. 15 anyway.
I was trying to think. John Mayer, semi-member type of thing. Bruce Hornsby, wasn't he a semi-member?
Well,
who else?
Yeah, John Mayer is the integral part to the Dead and Company specifically. He actually owns like 51% of that trademark portion of the Dead. But yes, Bruce Hornsby. My mother was a huge Bruce Hornsby fan. The 80s and 90s stuff, and I actually kind of liked it, but I never wanted to admit it because you couldn't be cool and say you liked piano playing Bruce Hornsby until I see he's playing with the other ones and the Grateful Dead, and I'm like, what? I've always loved Bruce Hornsby, guys. I've been on this Bruce Hornsby thing since where have y'all been? Yeah. Bruce playing piano with any members of the Grateful Dead is fabulous stuff.
Yeah.
So John, and the next question is quickly here, and then I'll be done on this. The next question is, it already was a question because Bob's health has been slightly in decline, more than a lot of us knew, but also he's 78. So you've got to have a contingency plan on what you're going to do the rest of your life. If you are, is what happens with this band now? What happens with this band now? Because so many people during this Dead and Company run have talked about this, and most people agree the music's too important, too popular, and in some people's minds when they're talking about it, too profitable to just
right.
We're done with this. And you want to call any member of the Dead a sellout, you go right ahead. No one's going to listen to you. They've done this a way that nobody else has, and if they want to keep making this money with this machine, I support it, and I hope that they do. I don't know. When I was in Vegas for that 3-night run, almost 2 year and a half ago now, one of the greatest live performance events of my life. Dead Forever was everywhere. The hashtag Dead Forever here on the screen before the show, after the show, Dead Forever, Dead Forever. It's like a marketing campaign. And I said to...
It's a great logo.
I said what is a guy. All of their stuff is great logos. And I
Right.
said, I bet you whatever the next version of the Grateful Dead is to carry on into another generation, that will be called Dead Forever. Whatever that is, that's what it'll be called. And essentially it'll be a cover band, a tribute band. But the Deadheads that don't approve of the Dead and Company outfit will already say flippantly, well, the best cover band in America about the Grateful Dead is Dead and Company. Like, okay. All right. Well, that's fine. John Mayer, I think, is going to be the one that gets to make that decision. And John Mayer and Bob became real close towards the end. So there's a lot on Bob there, everybody. Thanks for sitting through that. But I didn't even realize it until we started talking about it, Barry. I mean, like, it's only been we record on Sundays. This was Saturday night at 7:00. You know, just last night. I just slept on it and woke up and like, I guess we'll talk to Dead today. And next thing you know, I'm getting sad.
No, yeah, I knew it was. It's an important topic. I mean, I don't think I can overstress. There is no Bonnaroo without the Grateful Dead.
I think that's very much an accurate statement.
100%.
Because it created that festival, traveling festival atmosphere that started to build in the 90s, and then Bonnaroo exploded into the American landscape.
Yeah, that's another point that I... Go ahead, Russ.
Like I said, I don't think the Volkswagen bus would have become such a popular symbol of counterculture and, live music as, without the Grateful Dead.
I think that's very true. And it was just a couple of years ago that J-Rad was at Bonnaroo. So Joe Russo's almost dead. I won't bore everybody with the story on him. So there's still Grateful Dead music. And now I bet part of that Super Jam or something going on this year will have a Bob Weir Grateful Dead tribute in there somewhere. I sure hope so. Hey, Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
Don't forget about this. Somewhere, do something, because the appetite just never seems to be satiated.
That's a good point.
Never seems to be satiated.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I another point I wanted to make is, and it seems so obvious, but it doesn't get said enough, somebody had to do this first. And, for younger people, again, you kids get off my lawn type of thing, but this stuff didn't just appear. Somebody had to do it first. They created this universe that we now all take advantage of and thrive on. So,
Well, I really think that a lot of the EDM and what we would call techno in the 90s is a byproduct.
Sure.
Of this.
Absolutely.
It's we're doing the same things, sort of, and we're excited about the same things, kind of, but we're doing it with a different centerpiece, I guess I'll put it. And these things don't just fall out of the sky,
Yep. Exactly.
So it's sad, but it's also a fulfilling, enriched, just one hell of a great story of a man. And that's all I ask to go out. I want people to be like, man, what a great life.
Yeah, life well led.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and we're going to play some more of these amazing contest entries. So we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. You're listening to the What Podcast. As we said last week, we have been overwhelmed, happily so, with contest entries. We have 2 Bonnaroo tickets to give away, along with a camping pass, and we decided a month or so ago, 1st of December, as we have done since 2018, to give these tickets away. Brian came up with the simple idea of just saying, why should you win? That's the contest.
Oh, is that my idea?
Yeah. We went round and round. Russ and I kept trying to think all these clever things, and you said, just keep it simple, dummies. Why should I win?
What would they say here? That's why they pay me the big bucks.
There he is. Radio. That's it. That's the experience. That radio.
Yep, we're doubling your pay.
Or just leave me alone about it already.
I think that was really what it was. I don't want to think any more about this than I have to.
But the response, you're not
Amazing.
overstating it. Very, very impressive. Very impressive stuff.
Huge numbers, and we have been so amazed, touched, whatever word you want to think of, with the sincerity, the passion, the answers. So many people not only are entering to win for themselves, but also to win for somebody else. That's been incredible. So many stories about people who understand the power of Bonnaroo, as we just spent the last 45 minutes talking about. This is not just a music festival. This is a thing that has touched all of us in more ways than we can count. As I've said on here 100 times, everybody's story is unique, but everybody's story is very similar, right? These 4 days in Manchester mean more to us around the year than most anything else we do that I can think of. So anyway, we're going to play some more entries, and you'll hear what I mean. You will hear the passion. You will hear the love that people have for each other and for the farm and for getting back to it and what it means to them year round. Russ, you've pulled a bunch of them. I'm not overstating this at all, am I?
Not at all. And this is just a small sample of what we've gotten. I mean, we've got hundreds of these, and I wish we could play them all, but we'd be here, all week. So it's hard to decide who we're gonna play, much less who's gonna win. But I think we got a pretty good sample of entries here, and I think there's a common theme that you'll detect in a lot of these. So we'll get started.
Let's
this
roll
first
'em.
one, I guess let's go. This one is from David.
Barry, Russ, Brian, what's up, guys? I just finished listening to your We Play Your Bonnaroo contest entries. They hit hard video. I believe I should get these tickets. I guess I don't believe. I think I should get these tickets because, Brian, I know you went to Mexico here recently.
I did.
I can speak Spanish. You need some tutoring.
I do.
I got you, my guy.
Okay.
Russ, I know you love your PBRs. Let's sit back and have a PBR. Case on me, brother. And Barry,
Okay.
I know you love your Bonnaroo, love your music. Let's chat about music, man. Anyway, in all seriousness, last year it was a mess, but I truly got an opportunity to be there with my brothers their first year, and they got to experience a day of the best time of your life, I guess. And then I took the people that are going to be in my wedding party to Bonnaroo, and unfortunately everything got rained out. I'm going to get married here in October to a very lovely lady who comes with me to Bonnaroo when we do go. But I do want to offer my services to you guys. Please give me a shot. Let me do what I can, and consider me for these tickets. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
I don't think you're supposed to be able to bribe us, though, right? Like, we're not supposed to.
It's worth a shot.
Well,
I mean,
if you're going to bribe us, that's better than saying you're going to make us not wear hats.
Yeah,
or
well, that's
not drink PBR.
Exactly. Yeah. If you try to take away our favorite things, Pondo, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah.
But
I
bribing
think
us,
I come out the winner in the Pondo deal there.
Yeah.
I get a clean, reorganized basement. You guys got to give up.
yeah,
stuff.
I got to stop wearing a
Yeah.
hat. Pondo, love you.
Hey, I
get lost.
I got crap in my basement that needs cleaned out.
I
Come
love
on.
it. That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Let's jump over here. Let's see. This one is Dylan.
Greetings, the What Podcast. My name is Dylan Murphy. I hope you fellas are doing well this winter, staying warm down there in the South. I'm coming to you from Germantown, Maryland. Would love to make that 11-hour trek down to Rue again this year if you guys would come through for me. I have a cat with me named Rue. So you know that I have a special relationship with the festival just based on that, probably. But yeah, came down in 2008 for my very first year with my best friend. We were out of high school, had like $100 in my pocket, no idea where I was gonna sleep, but they made it work out. My best friend's older brother had been before, and they had a big group, and so like everything just was perfect and really like opened up my world to, you know, live music and just different things. Really changed my perspective, I would say. And been back with that friend a number of times over the years. Most recently in 2017, we did the full festival. Then we took several years off. I had a few kids. He got engaged. So in 2025, we decided that we were going to go back. So my best friend and a few of our buddies, we went down there, you know, for Cancelroo. We had a great Thursday, but then we had to shift our little bachelor party adventure to Nashville, which was fine. It worked out great. But I think that we're all really itching to go back this year and really do it right. And I'm not sure if we can make it happen without some type of external event like winning free tickets. So I'm not a prize pig. I don't enter contests often, to be honest. I only enter contests when I really, really, really want to go, and I think that this could really benefit people in my life. So that's my little spiel. I really appreciate you fellas doing what you do on the podcast. If I win the tickets, I'd love to come on and tell you guys a hilarious story about me and my best friend from that 2008 Bonnaroo. It involves Metallica, mosh pits, and a pink Speedo.
All right.
Yeah, so hit me up, fellas. Anyway, I'll definitely be seeing you guys on the YouTubes, but I hope to be seeing... Oh no, where'd it go? The what? On the farm. Let's go.
Good job.
Peace.
Good job.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I do love a visual. I love that.
Yeah,
And
great.
yeah, some of these are videos, so if you're not
Yeah, but
watching
now I
on
got to
YouTube or
unsee this
Spotify,
pink Speedo idea thing. So
yeah, stuck in your head.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
There's a theme here. I mean, it's not just the music that people want to go see. There's so many stories about I went there with my best friend or my brother or a spouse or a fiance or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. I mean, it's very much about the people that you go with, and a lot of these people want to win tickets to give to those people to bring with them.
I'm
right?
surprised at how many people, and we heard this last year. It's a sad story of the girl who brought her whole wedding party last year, and of course it got rained out, as we know. But I mean, how many of
Yeah.
those have we heard about? People who Bonnaroo is, you know, where they've gone with their either to get married or their wedding party, their groomsmen or their bridesmaids or whatever. I'm surprised at those. Not surprised, but there are a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there are a few more in here that talk about getting married or engaged and wanting to do it at Bonnaroo.
What's next?
It's well, let's see. Let's play. This one is Felipe.
What's going on, y'all? My name's Felipe, and I've been going to the farm since 2010 on and off. Went 2010 to 2012, 2023 to 2025. I'm half Cuban, and I have family in Cuba, and I have a cousin who, in recent years, communication in Cuba got better through WhatsApp, and we got to know each other pretty well. He was a aspiring EDM DJ in Cuba, just bedroom stuff, not a lot of resources out there. And in the last couple of years, he made it to live in the United States, and we always talked about that I would take him to his first big EDM festival, and he ended up in Kentucky, and we did a smaller festival, and I'm like, all right, now it's time, we're gonna do it, we're gonna go to Bonnaroo. And last year was the year, and I had gotten there on Wednesday, and unfortunately due to work constraints, he was only going to be able to make it to one of the days, which was going to be Saturday.
Dope.
And obviously we know what happened, and he didn't get to experience the farm, you know. And I would love the option of getting him to experience that, you know, that joy for the first time, you know, through all his you know, travels and his journey to this country. Like, something that he's always looked forward to was kind of taking in the EDM scene at that level, and you know, obviously as a new arrival into this country, you know, he's scraping by, like making his way, and this would be an incredible gift of what the Bonnaroo community has to offer. Yeah, thanks, guys, and looking forward to hearing all your upcoming episodes. Have a good one.
Thank you, Felipe. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So many of those stories that are not even involved with this contest that I've heard for the last 6 months about. Hell, we have our own, you know, Taco in Savannah shows up and then, hey, well, you got to go home now. So many of those, like, I couldn't get there till Friday, and, you know, worst day to get there. And, you know, in 25. So we've heard that story a lot. It's equally sad every time we hear it.
Bonnaroo would be a heck of a place to be introduced to what an EDM show festival would look like, coming from Cuba and Kentucky.
Especially,
I would imagine.
coming from Cuba, yeah.
You know, since they've leaned into this so heavily, yes, yeah, it would be. It would be.
All right, what else we got?
Let's see. This one is Mario.
Hello, the Walt Podcast. My name is Mario. I've attended Bonnaroo since 2019, and I fell in love with that festival when I first attended. It's honestly an amazing festival. You can feel the love everybody puts into it. It's the attendees, the musicians, everybody. And I fell in love with it. I've been to many festivals, and it's probably the top 3 festivals I've ever been to. I've been there when it canceled 2021 and then 2025 as well. But the reason why I would like to win the tickets is for the reason that I want to share this experience with somebody else that I fell in love with as well, and that's my girlfriend. We were gonna go to this year, but unfortunately it had to cancel due to weather. But I was hoping I could take her next year, especially since this month, at the end of the month, I'll be proposing to her. With that, we're gonna have to plan for a wedding, and it's gonna be kind of costly, and I don't know how everything is nowadays. But if I get to win this tickets and give her the opportunity to attend this festival, to give her like a little, you know, mini vacay, especially since we've been working a lot, that'd be pretty nice. Especially for someone like her, she's very special to me, and I love her so much. But I hope everybody the greatest luck in entering, and hopefully everybody can get what they want. Thank you for everything y'all done. See you later.
Thank you, Mario. And
Once again, I hope we're not breaking news here. I hope she knows.
Yeah, I don't know if she
you guys discuss
watches
that?
This. Yeah.
Dude. Say yes.
I'm just happy he was able to go in 2019 before the last 6 years, because for all intents, 2019 kind of seems to be the last great year for anything. So I'm glad you were able to go before the 2020s, because it's still a great place, but it's a little different than it was then.
It is different. All right, you got another one?
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of these entries. People are saying they want to get married at Bonnaroo. Nobody has sent in an entry saying they want to marry me at Bonnaroo.
No.
So seems like a missed opportunity. I'm just saying. But,
I thought you were foreshadowing to our next one that was possibly what was in the cards.
Well, I mean, you and Brian have already been married at
That's
Bonnaroo.
true. That's true.
I know, but we had to get it annulled. I don't remember why.
Yeah. Yeah,
it
can't
doesn't count.
imagine why that one didn't work out.
So I'm accepting new offers. How about that?
Well, and speaking of, well, never mind. I'll leave it alone. I won't do it to you, Brian. Never mind. Move on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I think.
Move on.
Move on. This one is Hannah and Jordan.
Hey there, the What Podcast. My name is Hannah Van Gorder, and I'm here with my best friend Jordan. Say hey, Jordan. Hey. We really, really, really want to go to Bonnaroo, but we have no money. We are so poor. We have no money. So let me tell you a little something about us. I was once in a barbershop quartet that was nationally acclaimed. I feel like that's pretty neat. And Jordan is a really, really good photographer, like really good. So even if we don't win the tickets, if you guys have an in to give music photographers in, I know a girl who's good at it. It's me. It's Jordan.
Okay.
She's really good. Additionally, I love all music, music of all kinds. I love listening to it. I love singing it. And I was a really big Skrillex head as a kid. I had a Skrillex poster. So I'm really excited about this, and I love you guys and what you do. And Jordan, anything?
This lineup is fire.
This lineup is fire. These are bands that we love and adore. To name a few, Geese, Tedeschi Trucks, very excited. Wednesday, we are from Asheville. They are from Asheville. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is I love you and I want the tickets if you want to give them to me. Thanks, guys.
I'm here to rob you with what little money you have.
We just got robbed. We just lost all our money. So now we have no money at all and we'll never make it to Bonnaroo. And you can help us. Please help us, the One Podcast. We love you. We love you. I hope you have a good night. Goodbye.
All right, that was a nice little touch at the end.
I like that.
I like that.
I have a challenge. I want you to do a Skrillex barbershop quartet mashup for us.
Yeah, hey Hannah, name 3 Skrillex songs.
There you go.
Hannah Van Gorder, if that's your real name. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I want to know more about this barbershop quartet.
Yeah.
That seems like
curious about that. Yeah.
No, Hannah Van Gorder's got nightly news written all over it. Like
That's a great name.
Hannah Van Gorder.
Mm-hmm.
All right, play another.
Okay. Okay, we're going to play this one from Kira. Now, you remember Kira from last week? She called like 9 times. She's called about 7 more times with updates.
Hannah, don't you have a job or something?
She does know our names.
Yeah, she calls between jobs.
Yeah,
She says so.
she calls on her break.
I'm sorry. That was the oldest thing I could have done. Do you have a job? Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Yeah, in fact, she has her boss called in. Her boss called twice to recommend tickets for her. She got 6 other friends and coworkers to call in support.
Gotta love the hustle. Gotta love the hustle.
So, and then she recorded this video, and it's a long video. It's like 15 minutes. We're just gonna play like a little bit, and then I'll link to the longer version if you want to hear it. So here we go.
Hi, the What Podcast. It's Kira. We're acquainted. I call often. Minnie, shh. I'm talking to our friends. You will hear my cat. Shh. You're okay, baby. So anyway, I call often. I've been putting in submissions. And I just wanted to make a video to kind of put in a submission, not for me. I mean, it's kind of for me because he's my man, but for my fiance. He really is my rock. And Minnie, shh, quiet, baby. You hear my cat? He's my rock. And last year, Bonnaroo was canceled. Everyone knows Bonnaroo was canceled. And we were supposed to get engaged. It was our first vacation together. We've been together 4 years. We didn't get engaged there. We did get engaged after Bonnaroo, but it didn't happen at Roo, sadly. Still engaged, still very excited, still very happy about it. But I just want to tell a little bit about my fiance and our story and why I feel like he deserves this.
Anyways, like I said, it goes on for about 15 minutes. It's a pretty, there's
Nice.
a, lost some family members and, kind of sad, but pretty involved story. So thank you for.
Well, your
sending that in.
tenacity is duly noted there. Very, very, very good work here. We'll see if it pays off for you in the long run.
Yeah.
All right, you got another one?
Yeah, let's see. We'll play. Okay, well, this one is Lena, who won last year, if you remember.
Can we go back to back? Boy, the
Yeah.
crowd would be happy about
Yeah.
that, wouldn't they?
Hi, What Podcast? It's Lena again. I wanted to reach out and argue why I think that I would be a great pick for the tickets this year. As the winner from last year, obviously it was a bummer to have my time at the farm cut short, and I would be so, so grateful for the opportunity to have a redemption arc this year. And I think the reason why I'm such a good fit is because I absolutely place Bonnaroo in my heart above every other music festival because I truly think that Bonnaroovians are the kindest, most helpful people, and I've seen that time and time again. I consider myself part of that culture, and I'm ready to continue contributing it to this year. I have a few little stories to share about my time on the farm last year before, unfortunately, Friday happened and we all had to go our separate ways. But first of all, it was so nice to meet everyone from the What Podcast on Thursday and get to see all the amazing organizations that brought their information to Bonnaroo and were spreading advocacy and all wonderful things. And getting to meet Barry and Lord Taco and Brian was so amazing, and I had a great time. And then another thing that happened while I was on the farm is that my friend Mary and I, who went, were setting up our tent, and we had an issue with our canopy, and it completely collapsed, and this was right when the rain was starting, so we were kind of in a bad situation. And I was able to find someone like a bunch of plazas away in the Facebook group that was willing to just give us an extra canopy that she had. So we made our trek over there, set it up, took it back down, and brought it back to her when we all got sent home. But I thought that was so incredible that she was willing to help with expecting nothing in return. Also, I was lucky enough to make my way out to the Remy Wolf Super Jam in Nashville, and even though I was ready on the minute to try and get tickets, I didn't get them, and then someone in the Discord was kind enough to sell me tickets at face value, which they could have overpriced those by hundreds of dollars. So I was so thankful for that, and I really think that Bonnaroo is the only place that something like that would happen, and I'm excited to contribute to that kindness and share the love with my neighbors when I'm hopefully back on the farm. I also absolutely love to take it and leave it, little bins that get left out all over the campsites. That was one of my favorite parts of Thursday, and I would be so excited this year to make little bracelets, trinkets, maybe crochet something, be creative with it, so I can truly contribute to the Bonnaroo community again. And that is the reason why I would love to be out on the farm again. Thank you all again for everything that you do. I love listening to the podcast every week, and I'm so thankful that you all had me on to share my opinions as well a couple weeks ago. Take care.
Thanks, Lena. Yeah, Lena's a rock star.
Yeah.
I follow her on social out of Florida, University of Florida. I'm trying to say, sorry. Yeah, she's going places. Good work, Lena. We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Yep.
I think she just graduated with her doctorate, if I read that right.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Mm-hmm. So
She points out a couple of things too that we always that I always like to echo. A lot of these submissions that we get, people mention that a particular band that they want to see, but it's not always about the band, or it's almost never about the band. It's the community. It's the, hey, my tent broke, but somebody gave me one, and the take it and leave one type of stuff. Those are the things that we all take home and remember, right? In addition to the amazing show that we got to see.
Well, it makes a potentially bad experience. I mean, your tent collapsing or whatever, and it changes it from I'm never coming back here to I can't wait to come back, and it's all because of the people you meet and the kindness and the want to spread that and pay it forward for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might have called in under a fake name, since she won last year, but worth a try.
Yeah. Again, respect the hustle.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of respect the hustle, let's. I think I've got one more queued up.
Cool.
Hi. So, my friend and I are entering for a chance to win some Bonnaroo tickets. Absolutely crossing our fingers to win. But while I spin this disco ball on my finger, let me tell you why we would be the perfect festival duo. We bring absolutely endless energy, the two of us. We have a shared love for basically all music. No, everybody says that, but we mean it. We cover all genres. And a little bit of an insane love for Bonnaroo. I mean, we have been waiting for every update, waiting for lineup, and waiting for tickets. And 2024 was both of ours first, not only camping festival, or not only route, but camping festival as well. And now we're itching to come back and make 2026 Rue even better than 2024. And the lineup is crazy. I think we're like over the top about the lineup. It's better than anything we could have imagined. But yeah, one row down and hopefully more to come.
I thought she was actually going to take her finger off that little string and just sit there and let it, like, Globetrotter style. I thought she was about to do that, and I was going to think, you win if you can do that.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Still good work, but I thought
work,
for a second, I thought, is she actually going to do this?
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe she was speaking quietly because somebody was asleep and she didn't want to wake them up. Or maybe it's some kind of ASMR thing.
It's
the
baby
kind of whispered.
Yeah, don't wake the baby. All right.
Don't wake the baby, yeah. We got one more from Vivian, who won the Bonnaroo yearbook last year. She said that she couldn't go to Bonnaroo because she had just had a baby. And she wrote back to say, don't give me tickets. I'm not going this year because she still, got a young baby to take care of, but she did send some photos over, so we'll put those up. And, honestly, we got a lot of pictures from people that have emailed us, and we'll probably just put those up as well, just kind of a slideshow, so you can kind of see, a lot of these entries that we've gotten has been amazing. I don't know what you guys think, but it's overwhelming.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I don't, I teased a little bit about Brian and his simple question, why should you win tickets? But I can't tell you why we've gotten so many this year and not in the years past. We've done this since 2018. Every year we've done a podcast, we've given away tickets, but for some reason, people are interested in going back, which I find interesting, fascinating, and thrilling. I'm so glad that people are want to go back. So thank you for your entries. We will play some more next week, and then we're going to give these tickets away at the end of the month. Don't know quite yet how we're going to choose. I don't look forward to how you two are going to figure that out.
Us two.
Wait a minute, what? I thought you were going to do it.
Good show, guys. Enjoyed the Bob Weir discussion, and enjoyed listening to the entries. Please, you've got time, send some more. Tell them how, Russ.
Yeah, 423-667-7877 is our voicemail hotline. You can call and leave a voicemail. You can call and leave 10 voicemails, We've got an email, comments@thewhatpodcast.com. You can send us pictures, videos. We look at all those. Thewhat.co/win has all the details on how to submit video, audio, whatever. So, yeah, keep them coming. Keep them coming. We're still getting a lot in every day.
All right. Good show, guys. Thanks, everybody. Hit that like and subscribe, share, tell your friends, and thank you guys for everything that you do for us. All right. Peace.